So a couple days ago, I managed to watch the directorial debut of Kimo Stambiel, I don't know if I pronounced that right, and Timo Giganto. Yes, I made a mistake, really, in which I thought that he directed the entire film of VHS 2, but in reality, he directed a short story from the movie called Safe Haven. That was my mistake, and it won't happen again, I hope. Now, Headshot was directed by both of them in 2016, I believe, and marked the first collaboration between Iko Uwais and Timo Giganto. I could be wrong about that, but hopefully not. Now, this film, you could say, is a copycat of the first movie. I think it's the Bourne Ultimatum. I've never seen those films, so I really wouldn't know. Now, we have Iko Uwais, whose character's name is Ishmael, who washes up ashore. He's put in a coma for 2 months. He has a mysterious bullet wound, and there's a scar. And we get to witness the locked memories of who he was in his past life, because he wants to really put that version of himself behind him. We get to see his relationship with his doctor, and we also get to see the insane fight scenes in this film, because like The Raid, like The Night Comes For Us, and also like another film that I'm going to review after I actually watch it, this film has no punches held back. Well, kind of. I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just talk about it a little bit. Now, Ishmael decides to fight back after his doctor, Eileen, is taken and stolen from him, from the hospital, from a dangerous gang that bears a little bit of childhood... How do I say this? It bears a little bit of a childhood connection, let's say, because we see how these thieves, these killers, were raised from a young age into essentially being molded into these terrible people that they are today. Particularly 2 people we get to see from Ishmael's past, and how they've definitely changed and will never ever be the same. Now, Headshot, a lot of people I've seen and have also read some reviews, they say that it's not as strong cinematography or choreography wise as obviously the Raid films, and The Night Comes For Us hadn't released yet, so a lot of people were kind of disappointed because the fighting might seem slow and sluggish. To me, that wasn't the case. I feel that really built upon Ishmael's character. I don't want to spoil anything, because I feel that you should watch this film. I feel it worked. I'll give a hint as to why I said there's no punches pulled in this film. It's because our main character doesn't want to go back to that life of being a killer. I really hope it's not spoiling much. It's pretty interesting that Iko Uwais has the ability to sort of switch on and switch off his fighting capabilities, I would say, because it seemed very believable. And I really don't want to spoil it, but at the same time, you just have to watch the film for yourself. Sonny Pang plays the main baddie. I forget his name. I think his name was Lee in the film. In the first opening shots, he escapes from prison. And this is where I've heard a lot of gripes, because it's just a big shootout, basically. And it's an overabundant use of guns. But, I mean, my only argument is, have you seen Hardcore Henry? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Now, I thought Lee was a pretty good villain. I think that all of his motivations make sense as to why he's doing these terrible things to these kids. And he was also in The Night Comes For Us. He was in The Forest Spirits. He's a great actor. Now, what I do want to talk about are the set pieces for these fight scenes. We have an amazing, I think it's one of the very first scenes, fight scenes on a bus, which is just phenomenal. Because in those types of closed spaces, you can do a lot. And it's great to see directors fully utilizing that type of environment, because buses and being chained up to a police table in a police station, or a table in a police station, sorry, it just doesn't get more creative than that. And the fact that these directors can just do so much when everything's been done before in terms of how to make something interesting visually is simply amazing. I want to talk about the Bourne franchise just for a quick second. I've seen clips of, I think, Ultimatum with Jeremy Renner, and I haven't seen any of the films. alright? But I do know the choreography especially is pretty bad, and that's just my opinion. But I'm sure it's a pretty popular one because I'm not a fan of shaky cam. I'm not a fan of quick cuts. I'm a fan of being able to see all the action at once, up close, no holds barred, and with most American films I've noticed that that's not the case. I don't know if it's just the editing or if it's just the directors not having their actors do any sort of martial arts. A few films that I have seen, I have the hiccups. A few films that I have seen, such as the John Wick films, have kind of set the stage for better editors, hopefully better American films with just fight scenes in general, because that's what I want. Even if the story's not that good, with the John Wick movies, the story's never been the strongest suit. It's always been the fight scenes. And if we could get some of these foreign directors to make more American films, then I'd be happy. I mean, shit, Iko Uwais, like I said, he was in Stuber, but Stuber wasn't very good. Yeah. But I hope you guys did enjoy this review. I meant to review this a little later because there were two films that I wanted to review before this, but I decided, hey, we're almost at 200 subscribers, why not? Might as well give you guys something you want. So, yeah. Thank you for watching, and I will review a certain debut a little later.